Hi everyone, this is Ken. I'm at the Stamps of Life office today. This is our store and also where we tape all our videos. Now you're probably wondering, where is Stephanie at? She is not here today. She's helping out with one of our grandsons today who was able to go home, and we're hoping our other one will get to go home pretty soon too. I had to come to the office today because we are expecting some deliveries, and the deliveries haven't gotten here yet, and I kind of finished all the work I was supposed to do. And I've always had this idea about making a card myself. And some of our customers, especially ladies, when we've been out traveling, you said, Ken, you should make a card. And I always say, I'm not sure you want to see me make a card. Or then you say, maybe you can do a 30-second card, Ken. I'm all, oh, no way, no way. But at the same time, I have learned a lot by watching Stephanie and some of the girls from our design team and just seeing all the awesome cards that end up in our booth or in our videos. So I am going to try to make a card myself today. And I've been working on it for a little while, so I'm going to tell you there's been some hits and some misses. But first, I want you to see kind of where I've got some of my inspiration. And it's from our design team. And I will show you these samples. I'll lay them down here so you can see them. I really love this one. And you're going to see that I use the tag and some of the mushrooms, and I have found some, what do I have? Flowers. I have some hearts. I have the grass. So this one's a really nice one. And so just kind of, these are my points of inspiration. Some of the time when you see a design that you like, you can just kind of give that as your starting point and then see how you can make it your own. That's what I always think. So that's my idea. I like the snail, but I'm going to use a little different critter there. I like that one. And then this one's really nice with our new mushrooms to stamp. Coming out, well, April 1st. So it might be out by the time you see this. Some great coloring. I'm not at that level yet to color. So I'm going to mostly stamp and do some die cutting, but you won't see a whole lot of coloring for me. Again, I'm just a beginner, but let's just see what we can come up with. And then I also like this one, and I'm going to use some flowers that look just like that. And I think I did do some of the die cuts, so we'll see. Okay, so I want to show you some of the products that I'm going to use. We'll set those up out there. And again, the design team, the cards, it's just great for inspiration. So if you go on to the gallery page, you'll see all these ideas, or if you watch Stephanie's videos, you'll see them as well. So I'm going to show you some of the items that I'm going to use today. Normally I'm on that side of the camera, so I always tell Stephanie all the things to do. So I want to make sure I'm doing those things. So I'm trying to think about that and all the things I want to tell you too. I am going to use this new stamp set called Mushrooms to Stamp. My card will have some of the mushrooms stamped on there. It's Your Birthday, I'm going to use that one. And then I was just hunting around and looking for things around here that I could use. Trying not to make it too complicated, but I did spend a lot of time thinking about this card. So on this, we're going to use the sayings right there, Happy Birthday. And I'm going to stamp that on the inside of the card. We have the pattern paper that will be coming out soon if you're a Card Kit Club member. And so this helped me out a lot because I could just use the dies, this art that's already pre-done, and it'll be a big time saver. And again, for me, somebody who's just beginning, it makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to die cut some of those. You see that I've cut a few of those out. And this paper pad just has all kinds of great stuff. But those are the ones I picked. I did use a couple off here too. There's a couple mistakes though too. I'll show you those. So I'm going to use that. And this is our stitch tag, and that was the tag that I saw in there that I really liked. So I'm going to try to make that as well. We're going to use the stitch tag. Now I've done all these, I've cut out most of these pieces, so we'll go a lot faster. If I were making this card on my own in front of the video camera, it would take a long time. You would get really bored. So we're going to try to speed things up. So I cut that using the stitch tag. That worked out great. I found some flowers and hearts from This was from our card kit, I believe, in January that went with the birdhouse to stamp. So lots of fun stuff. Some of these were just extras and they were just laying around here. Some of these pieces were already gone, but I picked out some of the hearts and the flowers. Those were fun to use. I'm going to use the grass die. You can see this card has some green and this has green, so I'm going to also use the grass. And I did cut that out, and I used, when I cut the grass, I did use the adhesive sheet for the backing because that's pretty intricate and it helps out a lot. So that came out really good for me. And I do like the shadow too. I'm going to use the shadow. I just like to have a little bit of extra there. I've got some dots. That's going to just give a little extra pop. Flowers that I have and hearts. So that'll be nice to use. I already got that. And I found this little guy. So I was looking for a critter. And I have I think this is Dog Sugar Pudgy. Whoops. So I'm going to use the stamp and the die on that. And on this one, some things came out really good and some things didn't. I thought about using these balloons, but I'm not too good at ribbon yet and twine, so I left those out. No ribbon or twine. Somebody's going to have to teach me how to do that. This is real handy. So this I used a lot, the dies. I know I used these ones up here. I did do some stamping, and I want to show you some of the things that came out really good. I was just practicing. Stephanie says whenever you get a new stamp, always ink it and practice. So I did that before I ever went on to a card or something I wanted to keep. I was afraid I would goof it up. They were coming out pretty good. This is like second generation, so it should be like that. Here was one of the things that I did notice. So I tried to stamp this happy birthday. Can you see that, I think? This happy birthday. And I did it just on the flat surface. And when I did it, this was the result I had. It wasn't quite filling out all that. Then I went back onto the Secret Weapon mat, and I did it, and I got the really nice happy birthday. I practiced with some of the little mushrooms because I wanted to do a little bit of coloring, but again, I'm not a colorer, and I saw that this card, the little mushrooms did have some color, so I wanted to try to replicate that. So I was able to do that, but I practiced first on here just to see how it was going to come out. And this was from my grass. That was good. Oh, the handy dandy A2 card base that you want to have. I had one of those right here. Stephanie's stash. Again, I'm just using all the stuff that Stephanie had around here and see what I could come up with. So I had that, and that cut really good. I did good with that. I ran it through the Spellbinders machine here. Got my nice A2 card. So I'm on the right track. Now some of my misses for me at the beginning. So again, I'm a beginner. And I have some things to learn. So I was thinking about having the dog be darker. But when I was going to go to stamp on that, it just wasn't going to come out. It was going to be too dark, and you wouldn't really see much detail of the little dog that I'm going to put on there. And then I found this cool, I thought, shiny paper. This is going to be awesome. And I trimmed it down, cut it out. It cut out really nice. But then I went to do some coloring, and it didn't work very good. So the ink just wasn't going onto this. It's some kind of like metallic paper, and I thought it'd be a fun color for the little puppy. It didn't color very good, and I was using markers, the Stamps of Life markers, and that wasn't going any good, so I even tried a Sharpie. Don't do that. It doesn't work very good. So you can see his mouth is all goofy, and I tried, but so that was a fail. After I cut the card base and I started to look at them all, it's going to look kind of plain when I start to compare it to the others. I like the sky with the clouds behind it, or just some of the different backgrounds, and mine was going to look kind of boring. So I did use this card front to, I'm going to cut this out. I cut this out, and this is going to be part of my card front. Everything was good except this isn't really a card front. There's a little notch up there at the top and a little notch down here at the bottom. So I didn't see that when I cut it, but no big deal. I just trimmed it down. It's going to work out okay. So that's going to go onto the front right there. And I see I have another goof up here later, but I'll be able to fix that. So that's the start of my card. This is just some of my extra scraps. Oh, I did use the washi tape a lot, so that helps to hold the dies in place. And even though I was using a magnetic platform, the dies were moving around, and I thought a couple times I could cut them okay without taping them down. Hit and miss on that. So I learned that the washi tape is valuable, so I did want to use that trick, and it helped me a lot. So you'll see some of my cuts. Some of them are pretty good. So I've got all that, and then let's just get to putting the card together here, and let me show you some of the ideas I come up with. So I have my markers. I have some extra washi tape, and I used that a couple times to stamp with. So here I have all my items. I have got my mushrooms cut. I kind of like this, my birthday tag. Again, I don't have any bows or ribbons because I'm not quite there yet, but I stamped and that came out pretty good. Got my little guys and I colored a little bit, but I goofed up. Somewhere as I was putting together this project, I got ink on my hands. And everything was nice and clean, and this was almost towards the end of getting all these pieces together, and I smudged a little bit on there, and then I saw there's a couple little spots on my card too, so I was kind of bummed out about that because I had gotten so far along without making any mistakes with the ink. So now I got to make sure I cover those things up or just make them look a little bit better. They're not the end of the world, but I think we could do a better job. So I have my grass. I'm going to adhere all these things, but just to give you an idea where we're going, I did put the adhesive on the back of this grass, the intricate part, and then I adhered it to the base, so it gives that nice shadow, and I like that. So I gotta add that to my card, and I'm gonna put this up kind of high because I don't know, I just didn't like some of the side that much, but I can fix it, I think, and make it look pretty nice. So I'm gonna adhere this. Got my adhesive tape. This stuff usually works pretty good for me. It seems like whenever we're at the show and I go to grab one of these, it runs out and I can't get it to work, and I get frustrated with these things. They always seem to run out right when I need to use them. So I'll be trying to fix a card at the show or something and it runs out of tape. So I've got that, and I'm going to adhere some this glue onto my grass there, and that's going to go just like that. I'm not going to clamp everything into place too much, just because I might want to fiddle around and fix a few things here and there. Okay, so got to fix that up. I covered all the black spots. That's good. Okay, so my dog, he came out pretty good, but you can see something happened there. That's when I started using the ink a lot. Somehow ink got on my hand and then it got on my little dog. Stephanie says just some of the time you can just cover these things. So my puppy is going to have a little flower. Some of the time they have little bows or something. So I guess I could get away with that, right? So I'm going to get myself a little adhesive on that. I'm going to use some pop-up dots because I like the pop-up dots, but some of the time I'm going to use adhesive too. Not everything should stand up, but some things should. So we're going to mix and match with that. So I've got that. I do have pop-up dots on my little puppy. And just to give it a little depth, I already did that. So I took a lot of the foam sheets and I cut those up to be smaller little squares, and we're going to be able to peel those and adhere them to different parts of the card. That will be fun, just to give the card a little depth and a little bit more interest too. So I like that when the cards pop up a little bit, and so that's something I'm trying to, I know how to do it, but whether I can make the whole card come together, let's see. So I'm just going to put that one square on there, and that little mushroom is going to go on to that side. And I have lots of like 3s and 5s. Stephanie says try to pick odd sequences for your decorating of your card. So I kind of think I have that going, right? So I've got lots of flowers here and some hearts to mix and match. There's my tag. Let's see what else is there. Little mushrooms. So these little guys, I think there's not going to be enough room to add the pop-up dots. So just going to adhere that with a little adhesive, and let's see. We'll also add a little pop-up dot to that. It's big enough that we can add that. So I've had fun learning, and I was thinking about trying to do it just all in one taping, but I'm glad I didn't, because it's taken me a lot longer than I thought. You guys would have got so bored. But it's still been fun because I've been learning a lot, and I'm also learning from my mistakes too. So that's a good thing. By practicing, you can learn from your mistakes. So I've got my 3 there. They look pretty good. And we're gonna add in some flowers here. Cut that. Up mostly around the house nowadays, right? So these are challenging times, and we'll see how this goes. We'll fit that in there. You know, we just got to kind of make the best of our days right now, and we all want to get out, and so I guess I'm going a little stir crazy. And I'd always thought about trying to do this, but Stephanie's really good on camera and all that good stuff. I know I'm just okay. She's a natural. I have to practice at it. So see, this will be a challenging one for me to try to get this. Okay, got it. And we're gonna do a little flower with the pop-up dot down here. Put that down by our puppy. Some hearts too. We're just gonna have to roll on some adhesive on these ones. Where can our hearts go? These will just be kind of for fun. We'll push them on our mushrooms there. Hopefully all this stuff sticks really good. And I don't have anybody in mind to give this card to yet, but it is a birthday card. So that's why I got the wishes back around, and it's your birthday, and on the inside I'll be able to stamp happy birthday. A little more flowers down here. And I'm getting better. As I get doing this more and more often, it becomes a little more natural and more comfortable to do. So I think I am making a little bit of progress. And we're just kind of bunching up things. Just don't want to get too crazy, but I think when I originally laid this out, it looked a little bit different, but it's still coming out all right, I think. So got some hearts and flowers and mushrooms. Okay, now I want to get my tag up there. I definitely want to have this pop up. What did I do? What did I do? Okay, we'll figure out something here. We're going to steal one of those hearts and move it, because this little tag has just a little smudge right there. You can't see it much, but I can see it, so it kind of bothers me because I know it shouldn't be there. And I'm not like a perfectionist card maker, but when I know I made a mistake, I kind of want to try to fix it, so that's what I'm going to do. So I hope you guys are all doing okay. It's been a crazy year. All of our shows have been canceled in March, and it looks like all the shows are going to be canceled for April. But we're hoping to get back out on the road, and that's one of the reasons we miss you. And I guess that's why I'm here making a card, because I don't have anything else to do. It's kind of funny, right? Fix that. I want to fix that little heart. See if we can move that one up there. I don't know. Flower together so close don't look the greatest. Okay, well, that's my card. It's looking pretty good. So I'll show that to you that way. Now I have to open it up, and probably if I would have taken a little more time, I could arrange some of these things a little bit better. Looks like it's holding in place. I think I had the flowers in different spots before, and it looked a little bit better, but we got to keep moving on. I just like to practice before I go on to stamp on the card, because once it's on the card, that's it. See, way too much ink, right? Yeah. So that came out good, but look how much ink I got on the... Good thing I have wipes here. Way too much. I pushed down. I know not to do that, and I still did it. And Stephanie will probably get mad at me because I'm using a whole wipe right here, but I got a lot of ink on this block, so if I want to clean that off, woo, I'm gonna have to really get a nice wipe. Stephanie tries to ration these, and normally I would, but I got so much ink on there. So okay, so that's clean up. Look at that. Too much ink. So this is, I'm just practicing. I knew before, just do this, just tap, 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 tap. And I still got some on the side, but we're just gonna leave that off to the side. So now I have my happy birthday, and I'm gonna see if I can do a little bit better on the inking here. Just tapping on there lightly. Don't wanna get crazy with that. Let's just make sure we get it real nice. And this is just for practice, because once I go into the card, that's it. So I like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some ink on it again, and we're gonna add this to the inside of my card. I think when I practice more, I'll get better with, I probably should have had a little separation there, or maybe it just got too busy over here. I'm gonna look at that real quick. Maybe I can make it a little bit better. So I wanna finish this up really good. And I'm gonna push down nice and good. I've got my secret weapon here. It should come out good. Not bad, I like that. The one thing that I have failed on, and I always tell Stephanie, you have to put a little sign on the back, your little signature on the back. But I don't even think I have one of those. So I failed too. Got my card all together. I'm going to, I don't know if I should do this or not. See, I'm new, but I want to just try to do something different with this flower and see what I can, if I can pop it up behind. Maybe that will look a little bit better. Probably the flower shouldn't have been in the air, but let's see, we'll leave it like that. I like that a little bit better. I like to see the mushrooms a little bit more. The flower could be growing up behind it. There we have my card. I am finished. I think that'll fit in an A2 envelope. It's going off a little bit here, but it might just be just enough space in there, and I could send that out. Well, a couple things that I would, if I could go back and do it all again, I would like to not have that smudge on my dog, and then I wouldn't have to have the flower on her head. And I had a little smudge under the "It's Your Birthday," so I had to put the heart there to kind of cover that up. I can fix some of the mistakes. It looks better fixed than if I just left the ink mark. Not quite exactly what I had in mind, but pretty good. I think this is really the first time I've done a card on a video. And just to give you some ideas and show you some hits and misses and some things I'm learning. I've been watching cards be made for 10 plus years. We're coming up on our 11th year, and so I've learned a lot. But until you really start to do it and practice at it, you're going to have some mistakes and you're going to make some errors. But that's part of the fun. And you can always start over. I just didn't want to start over because you'd be here forever watching this video. We don't want this to be a forever video. So one more look at that. I'll take a couple pictures, and yeah, pretty good for my first card on video. We'll see. Maybe I'll work on it some more and see what else I can come up with. Try to advance. Oh, here's one thing I learned. Cover the ink, because if you don't, it gets everywhere. I've got a little bit of cleanup to do. Oh, when I first started this, it was a total mess here. And I kept losing everything too. So things get misplaced and things get lost and all mixed up. So you had to clean up, but it was fun. It's different being on this side than on that side. So I'm learning a lot. And it is fun though, card making. So there's my card. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a good time, and I will try to work on my card making skills. If a lot of you want me to make another card, maybe I'll do that again in the future. Maybe just until we get traveling again, every once in a while I'll pop in here and maybe try to do something fun. Thank you all for your support, and we can't wait to see all of you again. Hang in there. These are challenging days, and just life's a little bit different right now, so we miss seeing you all, and we can't wait to get back out there. We want everybody around us to stay healthy too. I know in the end, just God's going to do great things in our lives, and so that's what really matters. We just keep trusting in Him, and sometimes He has a little bit different plan for our lives than we kind of expected, and we get some things that happen here and there, but that's okay. We just kind of go with it, right? Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.